Hello everyone and welcome back. So today in Star Wars Galaxies I'd like to talk about buffs, entertainer buffs and doctor buffs. How to get them, why to get them, do you need them all the time, what are they useful for, everything in between. You can see there's some PvP going on in Mos Eisley right now. This is a fun time. It's getting near the end of the workday. A lot of stuff going on. So let's start with entertainer buffs. They are useful for everyone, I'll put it that way, in different ways. If you are a combat person, you can increase your defense, you can increase your ranged attacks, speed, accuracy, defense, knockdown defense, PvP, reduction, damage reduction. There's even stuff for droid speed, for bounty hunting, elemental resistances, kinetic energy resistances, and the whole works. Anything you can think of, pretty much. Another one that's big is opportune, which is luck. Luck's used for a lot of different things in the game. And on the crafting side, you want to get buffs for crafting assembly, amazing success chances, factory speed. Unless you're really... I don't usually get that one. In fact, I think I've had that one once. Hand sampling, which is useful if there's an entertainer out in the wild. Let's say you're on Mustafar trying to get some resources. I'll pick up that one if I'm out there and there's an entertainer out there. Harvest Fair and incubation quality, which is a fairly new one. So, and resource quality, which is also very, very important for crafters. Oh no, I'm getting healed, but of course I'm not in this PvP right now. This is pretty cool to see though. Oh, Jedi. Very cool. I need to bring my Jedi out more. Anyway, so we're going to go into, if you're in Mos Eisley, this is the best place to go to get entertainer buffs and doctor buffs probably. You want to go into the cantina. So this is the cantina, if I'm looking at the overhead map, right outside of the starport. You just go straight and you head into the cantina. There are a few different websites that you want to look at if you're new to this and if you don't know which buffs that you want to get, and I'll link those websites in the comments. One of them is the actual SWGR website. It has a little calculator there, and then there's one for, it's called entbuff.cypherius.net/r3/. All right, so when you come in here, you want to find a dancer and a musician if possible, and you can listen to one and watch the other, and it'll boost the amount of time it takes for you to get your actual buff. So if you only, let's just say I click and select watch on this dancer. You can see it pumping up 14 minutes. It'll go to 28 minutes. But if I watch and listen at the same time, it goes twice as fast. And if you're in a rush, you know, it's pretty cool to have. See how it's bumping up really fast now? So I'm on my crafter right now. I want to work on resource quality and amazing success chance. That's what I want right now. Some people might get crafting assembly if they need assembly. Resource quality is almost always needed for crafters unless you're crafting something that doesn't involve resource quality. Some things that you create, like if you're a smuggler and you create spices, resource quality doesn't matter. So you wouldn't get resource quality. You probably wouldn't even get a buff at that point. And then you want to watch this. You want to watch this, and it'll max out around 5.5 hours, somewhere around there, depending on the entertainer. Some entertainers can go longer, can buff for longer time, but it'll say max duration whenever it's all done. So if I was bringing my bounty hunter out right now, I would probably get something like ranged accuracy, because bounty hunting doesn't give a lot of accuracy because you don't actually go up any of the pistolier. Usually any of the pistolier, riflemen, or anything like that, or if your melee, doesn't get into the melee trees that often. You're relying all on bounty hunting accuracy and how much you get from those trees themselves, which isn't a lot. So accuracy is a big one for bounty hunters, because you're going against the defense of whatever creature you're trying to hit. So if you're trying to hit some like level 82 creature, like for missions, or rankers that go up to level 89 or 90, you're not going to hit them very often unless you have a lot of accuracy. Accuracy is very important for something like that. So, but if you have if you have enough accuracy on your character, you can skip that and, you know, do something like speed if you need speed, although you probably won't need speed either if you're going up rifleman or pistolier. So you can see it just maxed out at 5 hours and 22 minutes. So this NB looks, this guy's AFK. So I'm going to ask NB to give me NB. Could I get resource quality and amazing success, please? So there's a calculator for all of this. And they all come out to about 20 points. That's what you want. So one thing to think about for newer characters, and I'll accept that, and I'll thank or I'll bow. Always thank them. These people are actually online. This isn't an AFK service. These are real people sitting there helping us out. So it's a very big deal. It's not a lot of people do it. I always tip about 20,000 credits to whoever, you know, and she thanked me, to whoever buffs me for entertainer buffs. And like I said, it's because they're standing there. They're actually sitting there and they enjoy doing this. This is role-playing for them, or this is their part of their game. So I totally appreciate that, and I tip well for that. Now, if you're a new player, 20,000 credits might seem like a lot. And entertainers understand that. You know, if you're a new player coming in and you're wearing basic clothes, like you're just off the street, and you don't have a lot of creds, don't feel like you have to give them 20,000 credits or 10,000 credits. If all you got to tip is 1,000 credits, give them that. They'll appreciate that as well. So, and whatever you can give. You know, some people give more than 20,000, but you know, whatever you can give, that's great. Now, after the buff, you'll see this little buff icon underneath my character. It says inspiration. You feel inspired. Time remaining 5 hours and 30 minutes, essentially, which is great. And you'll also notice that I'm getting this rested bonus, which gives an increase to XP. Represents your rest level, which grants a bonus to your XP gained while above 0. Gain rested points from an entertainer, dancer, or musician in a cantina, hotel, tavern, or theater. Max is at 1,000, I believe. That's useful for people that are trying to get Jedi XP, for instance. The 1,000 XP is a lot. Although there's other ways of getting Jedi XP as well. We're not going to get into that today. But there is an experience boost buff as well that gives you 15% XP bonus. And that one's pretty cool to get if you're just starting out. You're trying to level up. Man, there's a lot of PvP going. This is pretty cool. So, second type of buff, Doctor buff. Now, I don't really need that on my crafter, but I'm going to do it anyway just to show you how it works. Again, in Mos Eisley, right outside the starport to the right, there is the doctor, or the hospital. I'm going to go in here. There are 13,000 doctors in here giving buffs. They're all AFK. There's two ways of getting doctor buffs. One way is just to invite them to your group and don't click on a droid. That'll give you, I think, 45-minute buffs. I think it's 45 minutes. In fact, let's do it and see what happens. I'm going to do it to Suki Quebec. She's already in a group. Okay, how about, you know what, I always go to, oh, the other one's not here that I was, Savannah. Here, Savannah. I've been going to Savannah for years. All right, Savannah will automatically invite me to her group, which was happened. This is a macro that runs on their end. And you can see the buffs coming in. 45 minutes. Yeah, or 40 minutes, somewhere around there. This one's 45, the other ones look like they're about 40. So you can get rid of your buffs if you want by right-clicking them. Boom, 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 boom. Gone. Beneficial buffs, you can do that too. You can't do that to, you know, buffs that are hurting you. So if you want an increase into your, and I didn't tip Savona here, I will, though, when I'm all done. Oh, she's still buffing me. I don't know why. I'm not even in her group. If you want an increase to your buff duration, though, you can it doesn't matter which droid, any droid, but I'm going to go to Savona's droid. You can say apply medical enhancement buff. This will give you an increase to the duration. So if you're going to be out for a while away from Mos Eisley in the middle of nowhere on Endor or in an instance and we're fighting crates, you want to do this. And I do it all the time pretty much anyway, just so I don't have to come back. So you click apply medical, I'll show you again. Apply medical enhancement buff on one of the droids. This is from the droid itself. This gives you an extra 90 minutes. Now this you have to actually pay. And I'm just going to say, okay, that'll add 90 minutes the next time I get a buff. And it says, I have that inspiration buff for 10 minutes. Doctor buff, enhancement 3. Next doctor buff duration will be increased by 5,400 seconds. I don't know why they do it like that. And Savona's still buffing me, so I'm getting it right now. I'm going to invite her to my group again anyway, just to show you how it works. So if you want that increase to your duration, you'll go to the doctor, to the droid first, ask for the increase in duration, and then you go to the doctor and say invite to group, and they'll give you the buff, and whenever you're done with the buffs, they'll disband the group, which you'll see here in a second. Done. And it's done. Now, since these are AFK characters, you can still give them 20,000 credit, you know. Some people don't tip them at all. I tip them 10,000. I give them half of what I give the entertainers. Now, maybe I'm cheap, maybe I'm not. I have no idea what anybody else tips doctors. Maybe it's only 1 in every 5 people who tip them. Maybe it's everyone, and everyone's tipping 100,000 credits. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Savona, if that's the case. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's how much I tip them. Now you can see these buffs are good for combat, and pretty much combat alone. This one increased my health by 10% and my health regeneration by 10%. This one increased my combat speed by 25 points. Endorphin injection and modify action regeneration by 10%. Modify mind regeneration by 10%. This is disease resistance and absorption. This one's poison resistance and absorption. So, in old school Star Wars Galaxies, you know, first 3 years of the game or whatever, every time you surveyed, your action or mind or whichever one, I don't remember, would go down significantly, and you would need buffs like this in order to keep them high enough so they wouldn't go too far down. But in this version of the game, you don't need them. So those are the buffs. Those are entertainer buffs, and those are doctor buffs. Like I said, I'll link in the description a link to the entertainer buffs so you understand how they work. There's a little tooltip, hover over, that you can put your cursor over to see what they actually do and how they'll help you. And I think that'd be very useful. So hopefully this helps some people. And yeah, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to post them in this video. Thank you. Have a good day.